I just wanted to share something that's really top of mind for me over the last few weeks because the more I've dug into attribution tools, the more I've understand that I actually have a problem with those. And just to clarify, I don't think they're useless or anything like that. I actually think they're incredibly valuable. The problem is how they're currently being used. And for those of you who might spend a lot of time on LinkedIn as I do, I'm sure you've come across all these posts with screenshots from attribution tools showing that you've spent around 30, 40, 50K and you've generated an insane pipeline amount. And the problem is that on one side, I see these screenshots, right? But on the other, I speak with marketers pretty much on a daily basis. And the more I speak with them, the more I understand that once this stuff wouldn't stick in an executive meeting, right? Or even most marketers that I speak with wouldn't have confidence using that data alone to make the case for more budget or to make the case to their CFO, to their leadership that LinkedIn ads are working. So yeah, like I guess that's the kind of a disconnect, the kind of problem that I'm having with those. And also too, every time I see them, the first thing that comes to mind is awesome, this is great, but how are you defining influence? Because I'm not sure if you guys watching these have used attribution tools, but you kind of need to define your attribution settings, right? So if you do, and yes, you might be aligned with the client, but influence can mean 20 impressions, 3 engagements, 3 clicks, but it can also mean 2,000 impressions, 100 clicks, 100 engagements, but the numbers will change a lot. And I guess that's the stuff that makes me very skeptical when I see these kind of things, because assuming you're working with companies that have large deal sizes, it's pretty easy to claim influence, right? So I guess the point and the reason I'm recording this, it's like, would showing something like this would make my numbers, our agency numbers look better in front of clients? Yeah, 1000%. Would I feel comfortable in getting this in front of a client and reporting this to them, hoping that they would show this internally? Most likely not. Like these guys would get cooked internally, you know what I mean? And one thing that triggered this was actually a client meeting that we had this week where yeah, we were going through some of the data because he wants to make the case to allocate more budget towards LinkedIn. His team, his CFO need to see how LinkedIn is contributing to deals because on their case, a lot of their deals are generated after in-person events. So events are pretty straightforward to measure, right? They have their team there, they meet in person, then the deals get triggered. It's also what make it difficult for him to make the case to leadership that LinkedIn ads were having a strong impact behind the scenes, right? So in our case, we're running ABM campaigns. So we have a defined book of business, and both us on the paid media side and the sales team are going after the same companies, right? Straightforward. So that's why it made it hard for him to showcase that value internally. So eventually we asked him, okay, so tell us, what would you need to see or what data would you need to take back to your leadership team and make that case? And he said, guys, if you can show the real pipeline and revenue coming from our book of business, relying on CRM data, right? Ultimate source of truth. Then if I can inspect those deals further and show the customer journey, meaning, okay, this company A started seeing LinkedIn ads before the deal was created. We started exposing these guys to LinkedIn ads for like 200, 300 days before the deal was created. You can see how these guys have been engaging over time. Like you see pretty much the whole journey. Then I can make the case. That's exactly what I need to then tell that story internally. Or does this mean that we will be saying that these deals only happen because of LinkedIn ads? Definitely not. Whoever says this is lying, right? You can't prove it. But the point is, this gives leadership something real to inspect. And I believe it also gives marketers a more credible or plausible argument to tell internally, like to tell that story, you know?